Welcome to Northwest Profiles, a look at people, places, and events of interest in the inland Northwest.
A nice new 5-shilling piece. Your first fee. Make a hole in it with the thing.
It's a personal passion to act and to direct. It's a creative process. It's like a miracle when I watch a play come to life to me. But it goes beyond a personal thing. There's something about artists that extends beyond their own gratification or satisfaction, which is a need to say it to a lot of people all at the same time.
There's a satisfying sense that you get from working in something that gives you that kind of communal feeling the way theater does.
This personal passion and this sense of satisfaction was once the foundation of a dream. Now for Bob and Joan Welch, it's a reality called Spokane Interplayers Ensemble.
10 years I was figuring out today, we pay our staff and actors every 2 weeks. And so in 10 years, that's 260 payrolls. And that's significant. That's really significant.
Interplayers evolved out of a program developed by the Welches while they were instructors at Fort Wright College. It was an attempt to separate those students that were taking drama merely to fulfill a credit requirement from those who had professional theater aspirations.
So consequently, we started calling one part of our course Interplayers. And Interplayers was something that you auditioned for. You had to have certain courses completed before you could take it in the theater. And we selected those who we thought were the most talented from the school and who were professionally interested and put them into the program we called Interplayers. And that started 5 years before we left Fort Wright College, which was 5 years.
The demise of Fort Wright College didn't deter Bob and Joan in the least. The community's support that brought Interplayers its initial success became the catalyst that thrust them both to take Interplayers to the next step as a professional theater group.
When it was announced that the college was closing, we were very encouraged by the community. We had people calling us up saying, "Oh gosh, don't stop doing that," and "Hey, I can come out there and I'll help you," and so forth and so on. And we were very encouraged to continue.
For Interplayers to survive, it had to become a full-time professional theatre group. And for the Welches, professional theatre is what they know best. They met in 1946 while studying at the dramatic workshop of the New School for Social Research in New York. Joan also studied at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, while Bob attended the American Theatre Wing. Their teachers included Lee Strasberg and Erwin Picador. Their careers took them to on and off Broadway, summer stock theatre, radio and television. The Welches recognized Spokane already had quality community theatres, such as the Civic Theatre. Still, they both felt a professional group like Interplayers could provide a kind of entertainment Spokane was not used to seeing.
When we first started Interplayers, we wanted to bring professional theater to Spokane. More than that, probably, we wanted to bring useful theater into Spokane. Theater that served some kind of a purpose beyond providing mere entertainment. Theater that had a civilizing effect, that had an educational effect, whatever. Entertainment should always be a part of theater, but we felt that we needed to go further than that. So we're trying to do the very latest things that come out. We're trying to also focus on the classics of the past as well as revivals of great American plays, so that the community gets a kind of a broad history of what theater is all about.
The Welches also felt an obligation to the many talented student actors who they had trained.
We trained actors, for 18 years and pushed them out into the market there where there are very few jobs for them. So one of the things we wanted to do was employ actors, quite frankly.
The popularity they gained at Fort Wright College had provided them with a good subscriber base. Realizing they had to strike while the iron was hot, Joan and Bob marched boldly into their inaugural season, announcing their plays, even printing brochures, all before they had found a theatre in which to perform.
We printed a brochure But we didn't have an address because we didn't have a building. Then we couldn't mail the brochure for a while because you had to have the address before you had the building. The post office is holding these brochures, and the guy calls up one day and he says, "Look, I'm either dumping these brochures in the mail or I'm dumping them in the river. Which do you want?" And so we said, of course, well, you better dump them in the mail. So then we got all these phone calls about, "Hello, I'd like to have a subscription, but where's your theater?" You know, and we said, "Well, don't worry, we'll have it soon and we'll make an announcement and we'll let you know."
The building they finally discovered on Howard Street in 1980 is the same building they're in today. What used to be a nightclub and Eagles Lodge was fire-damaged and abandoned. With 40 days till their first opening night, the duo again switched hats from artist and director to carpenter and building renovator.
Enjoy the show.
10 years and some 1,500 performances later, Interplayers has become an integral part of Spokane's art community. Their growth and maturity is due to the fact that the Welches, crew, and cast refused to let themselves become satisfied.
You can never be satisfied with what you've done because as soon as you've done something, it becomes obsolete. And you have to move beyond where you've been before.
Proof of this is when plays are chosen for the next season. Great pains are taken so that each play is an exercise in stretching for the audience, the actors, and themselves.
We really are looking for a season that each play presents a different kind of experience than each other play. And we feel that not only do we enjoy that personally, we feel the audience enjoys that, and that each play in its own way should be a stretch.
Within a season, what we will try to do is find a way to go where we think the audience already is with some of our plays. But we'll try to go where the audience is, then we also try to figure out where the audience hasn't been, or maybe where we haven't been, and go there too, so that this stretching process occurs, so that our audience develops into something, and we develop into something that we weren't and they weren't before we started.
17 out.
Tech Day, or technical rehearsal, begins on the Monday prior to Friday's opening night. It's when all the elements of the play, including lights, sound, props, and actors, are finally assembled onto one stage, and it is the director's task to mold all these elements into one finely tuned instrument.
It is the most intense week that you have of rehearsal because you need to add the technical aspects of the play to the play, but you're adding it to human beings who are sensitive to what's going on around them, and so the actor, in a sense, has to stay tuned in and add all these superfluous that seem to the actor at that moment superfluous. By Thursday, they're glad they're there. They want them to be there, but it's just hard.
Directing a play is nothing like, say, coordinating a business meeting. Emotions, egos, and specific creative objectives must give way to a certain amount of liberties.
It's not like I am painting a painting and it's just me and the material. It's that you got 15 or 20 people in here and we all have this single objective, and every one of them has strong opinions and feelings, and they are creative artists and they need a chance. You want from them their fullest creative expression, but to get it, you need to allow a lot of things to happen that you wish you could just say, sit down and shut up now. But you're not going to, that turns everything off.
Spokane Interplayers Ensemble is a team effort. It takes a full-time staff and dedicated community volunteers to produce quality theatre night after night. A large part of this ongoing effort is the unique working relationship that exists between Bob and Joan.
About a week before the play goes on, Joan, for example, comes in and starts watching my rehearsals, or I come in and start watching her rehearsals and take notes with my tape recorder or pen and pencil or whatever. And then we get together before we go to bed at night, have a donut or something and a cup of coffee, and we trade notes, swap notes.
Most people have the notion, gosh, you guys get to be together all the time, or else they think, boy, it must be hard to be together all the time. And the truth of the matter is that when I'm directing, Bob is doing all the business operation of the theater, and when he's directing, I do that. And to me, I rarely get to see Bob. That's how it feels to me, even though I'm working in the same building.
It's good for me to have that dimension that I know is not only supportive, but independent at the same time that I get from Joan. She can bring up something I haven't considered. And I can consider and reject it and know that there's no big fuss going to be made about it. Or I can find it useful, and it adds to the dimension of whatever I'm trying to do.
Artistically, he's a person I have probably more admiration and respect for than any artist I know. And I trust what he says to me. I trust that he genuinely feels that, and it's based on a wealth and a lifetime of knowledge and experience. I think we have really loved the journey of our life. I think we've had a wonderful time. We have always managed, in one way or another, by and large, to earn our living in the theater. And it's really exciting to us. It's nothing we're looking for to stop. You know, we want to continue. We have dreams about this theater past where we are now, and we're struggling to bring those into reality. And I don't know if we'll get them all done, but we go for it. We're looking for that. We're trying for it all the time.
If you have a topic for Northwest Profiles, send it to KSPS TV, South 3911 Regal, Spokane, Washington, 99223. Northwest Profiles is a presentation of KSPS TV.